Yeah, we're live. We are live. How's everybody doing? Oh, something hanging out of my nose. How's everybody doing? My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jer Bear, and today's date is Sunday, October 20th, 2024. Thank you so much for stopping in and joining me for another installment of the Sunday video update. I just dropped the link to the Fox Sunday Flashback with Dan Richards, which will be airing tonight on 103.9 The Fox starting at 7 o'clock. I am flying solo this week. Dad and Amy had somewhere they had to be this afternoon, and I told them that I would be okay doing the Sunday video update by myself, which, of course, it's never a problem. I just have to carry all the weight of speaking. And yes, I am picking at my nose on national YouTube television. Um, I hope you all had a wonderful week. Seems that Dad and Amy aren't here to divulge in how their week was. I'm going to talk about how my week was, and you're going to get all of me this week. Of course, unless if Dad and Amy come walking through the door when they are finished with their other engagements that they had going on. So, and chewing off my toenail, although his comments are always humorous in my chat. He did say something today. He says, I know that yesterday was a rough day for you, but just know you are loved and cared about. Your mom would be proud of you. And Toenail, I appreciate that. Um, I've heard that all day yesterday. Yesterday was a shit day. And I spent the day with my dad, and he tried to make it better. I broke down crying a couple times, which is normal. It's my mom's been gone for a whole year already, and it just doesn't even seem like it. But dad and my massive support and network of friends tried to make yesterday easier to deal with. And I am grateful for the likes of chewing off my toenail and all of my friends who helped me to get through yesterday. And yeah, mom would want me to get on with my life, and she told me that I had to get on with my life. I had to promise her. Yes, I had to promise her. Um, so yeah, yesterday was a shit day. I cried. I'm not going to cry here, but I cried. I talked about my mom a lot yesterday to dad, and we talked about a lot of things. He basically asked me, he says, "Well, what's on your mind today, son?" I said, "Well, it's October 19th. What do you think is on my mind today, Pop?" And he says, "I know." So I'm just trying to break the ice. And then we went to the Jade Buffet, and that's what did it. We went to the Jade Buffet in Owasso yesterday, and that's what did it, because that's where my mom enjoyed eating, and that was one of her favorite hangouts. And we went yesterday, and I wept over my food. And Dad says, "Why? I'm not trying to make you cry or anything like that." He says, "But maybe it helps to cry it out a little bit because you're holding back tears." And he says, "You can't do that. You can't do that. That was your mom. And he says, "Your mom and I had a lot of wonderful years together. We had a lot of wonderful memories and lots of great times together, and a lot of challenging times um, with me having cancer and, um, just other shit going on." Yeah, I mean, it's hard to just move on after being with someone for so many years. But I appreciate your comment, Toenail. Thank you so much. And then the humor part comes in. Toenail says, "One time I chewed off Betty White's toenail and spit it all the way to St. Olaf." Well, considering that St. Olaf being in Minnesota, uh, I think Betty White would appreciate that. I don't think, yeah, I'm picking my nose, folks. Don't care if you have a problem with that or not. But I think Betty White would appreciate her toenail back in St. Olaf if she were still alive today. Um, Melinda, hello. Today's a better day. So far, so good. But I'm flying solo this week, and I've actually run out of things to talk about already. No, actually, I didn't. Um, so on. let's see, today's the 20th. So on Friday, Dad and I went out to the Montrose pub, excuse me, to see a Nashville recording artist named Waylon Hannell. And for those of you who may or may not know Waylon, Waylon is a country music recording artist from Millington, Michigan. He has co-written songs with the likes of Bernie Nelson and a lot of talented, wonderful people in Nashville. He was recently in Florida at a songwriters something or another. I can't remember how he put it, but it was a songwriters thing going on. And Waylon went there. I think it was in Fort Lauderdale or somewhere in Florida. And he was talking about it at Friday night show out at the Montrose pub. He performed a song, and usually how I react to people is like the older I get, it's like, I don't care. Let them mimic me. I don't give a fuck. They're just ignorant and foolish. Well, on Friday night, Waylon Hannell performed a song called Georgia on a Fast Train, and it is a fast song. And I'm, usually when I'm listening to a fast song, I'll clap my hands, I'll tap my feet, or maybe sometimes both, or I'll hit my hand on my leg like this, because I'm getting into the music. It's a fast song. And so I was clapping along with Georgia on a Fast Train, and some boozer idiot was sitting at the table next to me mimicking my claps, and his wife or thing or whatever it was looking over at me and smiling, and then they were both laughing at me. Now, the old me would have milked it for what it was worth for the entire time I was there, but I didn't. And that's the new me. The new me just looked at him, and I thought to myself, yeah, fuck off, buddy. I'm having fun. I'm sorry that you don't know how to have fun, but making fun of other people having fun it just makes you look like an idiot. So, I unapologetically clapped through the remainder of the song because it was a fast song, and that's how I react to fast music. But the guy was just being a total dick. And like I said, normally the old me would have just let it bother me for the rest of the night. The new me, it's like, yeah, whatever, piss off, fuck off, buddy. So yeah, that's basically the crux of my Friday night. I was out at Montrose pub, and I saw Waylon Hannell. Waylon he's a nice kid. He's going places, and Leah Williams is another favorite of mine. She's going places. She's really making a name for herself. Dan Richards, excuse me, Dan Richards. I put a link in the chat to the Sunday Flashback, the Fox Sunday Flashback with Dan Richards, which will be tonight on 103.9 The Fox. You just follow the link. You go to the upper right-hand corner if you're on a desktop computer. You go in the upper right-hand corner, click Listen Live, and it'll take you right to the station. And you can listen from anywhere in the world. Dan and his wife, Georgianne, are big promoters of Waylon, and they're big fans of Waylon. They're personal friends of Waylon. And they weren't at Waylon's show last night because they were actually at a surprise birthday party for Leah Williams' dad, who just turned 50. So happy birthday to Mr. Williams. I don't remember what his name is. But yeah, happy 50th birthday to Leah Williams' dad. So, and her dad, by the way, her mom and dad are very nice people. They're both really nice people. And Leah, Waylon is from Millington, and Leah is from Flushing, Michigan. So, yeah, we got some real talent coming out of Michigan. Talent's always come out of Michigan for however long, any number of years. But yeah, it was nice to see Waylon again. We caught up, shook hands, and he actually personally invited me himself out to Friday night show, but we didn't stick around long because there was nowhere to sit. And our legs were getting tired because we were standing so much, and it's like, yeah, let's just get out of here. But I mean, Waylon can draw in the crowd, and so can Leah. Leah's really just, her voice is beautiful. I love Leah. But yeah, Yeah, it was a busy week last week, and yesterday was rough. I didn't drink yesterday. I had taken my daily Celexa, which is a depression medication, and although I had taken my medication, I still felt the pain of mom being gone, and I'm always going to feel that. It's inevitable. It's always going to be a pain that I'm going to feel, as is the case with any loved one you lose. You're going to feel pain. But that was my mom, and I don't know why people do this, but they're like, well, when my dog died, and you know what? That's your fucking dog. You can replace dogs. You can't replace your parents. You can always get another dog. You can't get another mom or another dad. Um, and of course, that's another conversation, a long-winded conversation that I really don't want to mention or bring up. But you only get one. You only get one biological mother and one biological father, and my mother's gone forever. And so, yeah, it hurts. Gee, go figure, huh? Feeling pain from losing a parent. Okay, there we go. Perfect. So, um, plans for this week, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure if Dad was planning on going out to the Pine Run Inn tomorrow night for the Monday flashback. I don't know what he had planned for tomorrow. After I leave here today, I'm gonna have to run up to I think I gotta go up to Frank's Supermarket. I think I do. There was something I had to get. I know there was something I had to get today, I just can't remember what it is. It escapes me. Um, but yeah, I gotta go up to Frank's and get something. I can't remember. Um, but yeah, so today, at this moment, very moment in time, I'm just gonna sit here and chit chat for the next, about 45 minutes or so, give or take. I hope you're all doing well out there today. I hope you're having an awesome week. Dad scared the living piss out of me this morning. Um, I was getting up to go to the bathroom, and, I didn't know that he was awake, and I walked in the bathroom, of course, shut the door, and I heard the dogs outside the door, and I'm not thinking, that, these dogs follow my dad everywhere, everywhere. And so I heard them, and it's like, What are you dogs following me for?" Well, I step out of the bathroom, and the next thing I hear is Dad making a voice that goes, "Ooh," like that, and it's like, "Dad, what the fuck are you doing?" It scared the shit out of me, but, it was funny, though. It was funny. He laughed, I laughed, it was all good. Um, it was a little joke or a little prank that Dad likes to pull once in a while, which is fine. Um, but it just caught me off guard. It's like, "The fuck are you doing?" Yeah, it scared the shit out of me. Uh, but yeah, that was one of the funniest things to wake up to this morning. Um, I was watching last night, late last night. I was watching some YouTube clips about um, people who give reasons not to vote. And okay, I've talked about this topic on a few occasions where I have opted out of voting. We are in an election season, of course. Everybody knows that. It's no secret. But I was kind of looking around on YouTube to see if I could find anybody who, like the people who abstain from voting. I was just curious if anyone had uploaded videos on why they choose not to vote. And many of you may or may not have heard of this guy, but his name is Michael Malice. And he had given some reasons as to why he doesn't vote. And it's like, I was thinking about this, and it's like, kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense. Um, and these are the reasons he gives specific reasons why he doesn't vote. And one of the main reasons is He says, "You know, if I want someone to represent me, I will hire someone to speak for me, whether it be a lawyer, an attorney, a representative, a legal representative of some kind. And if they misrepresent me by saying something that's not true or factual, I can fire them." Whereas voting is different because it's like, okay, well, I kind of really want this person, but I'll take what I can get, you know. Well, that's not being a representative because now, say if your neighbors want candidate B and you're voting for candidate A, and guess what? Candidate B gets it. It's like, well, I didn't want this person representing me, but majority rules. So um, I think that's a lot to do with why I don't vote. It's because I can pick and choose if I want someone to represent me, which usually no one represents me. I represent myself. Um, Usually, if I hire someone to represent me to speak for me, then, that's different because I can hire and fire instantly. Whereas when you vote for someone, you gotta wait 4 years. And it's like I don't wanna pick and choose. I don't wanna play this game of tug of war where we pick and choose who gets to boss us around and tell us what to do. I don't feel there's just something about the electoral process that strikes me as odd. And I'm sure there are many valid points and reasons for people who vote. They care about basic human rights and, like war and abortion and taxes and all this stuff. It's hot button issue stuff nowadays because Trump, he put an end to Roe v. Wade, and I've shared my thoughts and opinions about abortion. I think it's a woman's decision. It should be up to the woman, the medical patient, and not the government telling you that you can't abort a pregnancy or abort a fetus. You can't terminate a pregnancy by aborting a fetus. That should be up to the woman. Trump took that away. Um, and when I hear this phrase, like the lesser of two evils, it's like, well, so you basically want me to pick candidate A who has less poison and candidate B who's filled to the brim with poison. Well, both are poisonous, but you still want me to drink. No, sorry. No. How about no poison? Um, I would just I'd rather not. And then people automatically assume, like the Democrats automatically assume, well, so then Jared's off for Trump, or the Republicans, the opposite. Well, he's off for Kamala. Sorry, Kamala. Um, I'm not for any of them. I don't give a fuck. I don't know how clear I can be about that. Um, And they say, "Well, if you don't care, then you don't care about people." Well, no, I care about people, but I don't need government leading or guiding me on who I should and shouldn't care about. I can do that on my own. I'm a grown ass man. I don't need government deciding for me who I should and shouldn't care for. Um, are you going to vote? Absolutely not, Melinda. I'm not voting. I canceled my voter registration. Do you think our vote really counts? Well, I do in the sense that um, I don't vote. So in other words, I think if I vote for someone and they get in there and they fuck everything up worse than what it actually is, that's kind of my fault because I'm voting for an incompetent jackfuck in office. I don't know. Like, yes, I am undecided because I don't really care. Either way you look at it, we're fucked. We are screwed. And I hear these arguments all the time. Well, that's not true and that's not true. Yes, it fucking is true. The system doesn't care. They don't care. These people don't care about you. They don't. They don't even know who the fuck you are. And it's like, well, it's not a love letter to the candidate. Well, but you're more or less giving them that stamp of approval. I want you to control my life. Here, I'm going to vote for you. Control my life. Fuck that. No. No. And this is where I draw the line, because it's like you're voting for people who don't give a fuck about you. These people don't know you. They only know you by paper, your name, your date of birth, and your social security number. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't know what your likes are. They don't know what your weaknesses are. They don't know anything about you. They don't know your favorite color, your favorite flavor of ice cream, your favorite flavor of yogurt. They don't know about you, and they don't give a fuck about you. I'm sorry, but I can't give these people a single iota of my time. Now, if you're one who votes, Melinda or anybody else watching this, fine, vote. Um, but if you vote for someone and they get in, either candidate, by the way, not just Republican or Democrat, it's not a Republican or Democrat issue. This is a person issue. If you vote for your favorite cheerleader, your favorite mascot into power, and they screw everything up, that's on you. You got what you asked for. You got what you bargained for. Don't blame me because I didn't make a decision. I decided that we should be governing ourselves if we have enough decency to treat people the way that we would want to be treated. I don't need government telling me or mandating who I should and shouldn't vote for or get along with. I try to get along with everybody. I don't need government telling me or controlling who I can be friends with and who I can't be friends with or who I associate with. No. Either way, we were screwed. I'm thinking of not voting. You're making a lot of sense what you're saying about this. Well, Melinda, I catch a lot of shit for this too, believe it or not. And every time I say, hey, I don't want to vote. I don't want to get involved in this. And they're like, well, then you don't care about people. You don't care about your neighbors or your family. Well, I care about them, but I don't need politics to care about people. I care about people on a individual ground-based level. Do I want to see innocent people die? No. Do I want to see innocent people get hurt? No. But I don't think I have to cast a vote to make it mean something. I don't need to vote for an individual to validate my ethical morals. I don't need to vote someone into power to say I don't want that person to die. I don't think I should have to do that. I could look at you, Melinda, which we have met in person. I could look at you and say, I don't want you to die. I don't want you to do anything stupid. But because, hey, if I didn't vote Democrat, then that means I don't care about you. If I voted or if I voted Republican, I don't care about you. But if I vote Democrat, then that means I care about you. No, I care about you irrespective of who the fuck is running for office. I can care about you one on one. I don't care what your political affiliations are. That to me is irrelevant. I'm sick and tired of and when you watch these political ads, it's the same bullshit every fucking time. They don't talk about, you never see the opposing uh candidates talk about how they can work together. Like we can be bipartisan on this issue. We can both agree on this issue. We can work together. You never hear about that. It's always Trump is downgrading Kamala Harris. Oh, she's a low IQ person, blah, 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 blah. And she laughs at every fucking thing. She thinks everything's a joke. Um, who do you vote for? I, I don't understand it. Now I understand, like, okay, we're voting these people in power because they have ideas and they have policies which can affect everyday life. That I understand. That I understand. But comparatively to the overall odds of a candidate winning, there's millions of people voting, millions. I don't think that my vote should be, No one should put emphasis on me voting or not voting. Everybody else has they've hedged their bets. I mean, someone's gonna win it, absolutely. But I don't think it's contingent on me voting for someone. I vote for and not politically, I'm saying morally and personally, I vote for Melinda to be happy and healthy, mentally and physically. I vote for children to be safe from harm. I vote for people to not be so angry. I vote for people to get their shit together. I vote for people to kick their bad habits. I vote for people to overcome poverty. I vote for people to overcome racial stuff. And that is still a thing in 2024, unfortunately. And it's sickening. Um, I vote for people at ground level. There's no policy that's ever going to change racism or world hunger. There's no policy that's going to change that. These people want your vote. They don't know you personally. They do not know you. They don't give a fuck about you. That's one of the reasons why I don't even vote for a governor. I don't I don't do state politics either. I don't vote for township treasurer, supervisor, state governor, lieutenant governor, Senate, Congress. I couldn't care less about any of these motherfuckers. I just don't. Well, Jared's an anarchist. Well, call it whatever the fuck you want, but um I'm not saying that, what I'm saying is the system's broken for one, and for two, I don't have a solution. I don't have an alternative to how we can go about fixing a broken system. Oh, you got to vote to fix a broken system. No, that's how the system got broken in the fucking first place. It's because people were voting in the wrong people. They were voting in the wrong candidates, and that's how we got to where we are. How about I just don't vote either way? Whatever happens, happens. There's nothing you can do about it anyway, right? Um, I j I don't know. Well, Jared, there is a difference between, um, Republican and Democrat. Is there? Because it seems to me both parties are power hungry. They want your vote. Why? How many times, time and time and time again over the years, I was born during the Reagan administration. How many times over and over and over again do we have to hear the same shtick? And it's all synonymous. They just they phrase it differently. Like Obama's campaign slogan was "Yes, we can." Um, Kamala's campaign slogan is "Charting a new path" or some shit like that. Um, Trump's campaign slogan "Make America Great Again," MAGA. Um, they're all synonymous with each other. They all mean the same fucking thing, but yet things have gotten progressively worse. Like why hasn't anyone figured this out? These are just my opinions, by the way. I don't endorse either candidate because they all fucking suck. Um, but Michael Malice made some really good talking points because he said in some interviews, he says, if I want someone to represent me, I will hire them to represent me because the very second they misrepresent me, I can fire them on the spot. I don't have to wait 4 years. I'll just point my finger at them and say, "You're fucking done. Go away. You're done. I'm not going to keep you around anymore." Whereas when you vote for someone, like I said, and this makes sense too. My neighbor could vote for candidate B. I vote for candidate A, and candidate B wins. Well, that's not someone that I wanted to represent me, but I'm stuck with it. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Um, And they, when they do the inaugurations in January, well, you're president. No, they're not my fucking president. They are the governor of the country, but they're not my representatives. I have a mind and a mouth. I can think for myself and I can speak what I think, much the same way I'm doing right now. I just don't think that politics is the way, and I'm not suggesting there's an alternative way of handling things, but this way isn't fucking working. And I think everybody who pays close enough attention to politics knows that this system is not favorable for everyone. But at the end of the day, like I said, I look at Melinda. I wish her health and happiness, both physically and mentally. I wish for everyone to be okay. I can love people from a distance. I can not speak to them at an even closer distance. Um, I just don't think that politics makes much of a difference. All politics does is it reinforces policy, and people are getting rich. That's about it. That's all there is to it. And I canceled my voter registration in the state of Michigan, which yes, it's possible you can do that. Um, you have to write out a letter and send it to your township clerk, I think, and then they send it to your state capital. See, I went to vote.org to see if I was a registered voter. I'm not. Dad is. I'm not sure if Amy is or not, but um, Dad's registered. I'm not. I gave it up. I canceled it. I want no part of the circus anymore. I want no part of it. I just want to live my life. And you can look at this as well, Jared. You sound like you're someone, you're selfish. I got mine and I don't care. Well, even if I did vote for someone whose policies will benefit everybody, which that rarely ever happens. But let's say I did vote for someone where they think the policy will benefit the majority. It doesn't change anything because at some point there's got to be some kind of stipulation involved. There's got to be stipulation and regulation to evenly spread out the help to all the citizens who qualify for that particular help. Even if that were the case, not everybody's going to benefit. There's still going to be people slipping through the cracks in one way or the other. So even if I voted for someone who had my idea or I can agree with this idea, it's just not going to matter. It's just not going to make a difference because it can't benefit everybody. We talk so much about um, overpopulation, right? We talk about there's more people than resources, and it's true. This earth is heavily overpopulated, and there's more people than resources. We can't. I mean, we had a shortage during the fucking COVID pandemic. We were running out of toilet paper and vegetables and milk and all important shit, cleaning products. Um, there's more people than resources, and that is a problem. People think that that's a hoax. They think you know, it's not true. It is true. There's more people than resources. And they say, "Well, Jared, well, we can fit people on plane." Yes, but it's not about space. It's about resources. It's not about fitting people. It's about producing the resources to sustain life. There's more people than resources. So even if we had a system that was calibrated and built to serve everyone, there are still going to be people who don't get the help and the benefits that they need, that they seek. Because there's always going to be more people than resources. Do you see what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. I don't I don't see much of a benefit to, to voting. I think it's a joke. It's a waste of time, I think. And it's not so much the fact of, well, my vote doesn't count, my vote doesn't matter. Um, well, I think it does matter, and that scares me because, again, if you vote, and George Carlin even said this, if you vote and your vote gets that person elected and they fuck everything up, you are responsible for that because you voted for that person. You are the reason why things are fucked up. Now, if I don't vote, I can complain all I want about a mess that I didn't create. Get out of here, you fucking fly. I can complain all I want about a mess that I didn't create. I didn't contribute to the problem. I kept my happy ass at home, minding my business. I didn't go out there and vote for the wrong person. And now that this wrong person's elected, gee, now everyone's lives are fucked up because they voted in an incompetent piece of shit who's running the land. It just doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. I love people one by one as I meet them. I love people individually. I don't care about your political party, your religious affiliation, because I'm an atheist. Melinda, I didn't know if you knew that or not. I don't vote. I don't pray. I just mind my business as much as I can. I come on Facebook. I talk about some things that may be relevant to other people. Some, a lot of things aren't, but I'm human. And I come on Facebook and I interact with my friends and try to make happy posts and you know, I'm I try to be myself at any and all costs. But I do abstain from voting and I know that's going to piss a lot of people, oh, excuse me, a lot of people off. Um well, but that's just too bad. That's just too bad. Um I didn't know that, but I still like you whether you're religious or not, whether you vote or not, whatever. Well, I appreciate that, Melinda, and, I see your posts about religion on Facebook, and I don't say anything, I don't react to your post or whatever, because I don't think you would agree with me on some things, on some viewpoints, so I leave those posts alone. Uh, and you're not the only one, Melinda. I don't want you to think you're the only one. I'm not trying to single you out, but I do notice your posts, and I notice the posts of other people who talk about God and Jesus and religion and this, that, and the other. And I don't touch posts like that. I can read a post, and the post is good until the very end when what they want to inject their God belief, and it just spoils and depletes the rest of the fucking post. It's like, I can't touch it. You had me in your corner right up until you wanted to mention God or Jesus, and then that just spoiled it for me. And not you in particular, Melinda. I'm just saying people in general. Um, I mean, I thought that, I don't talk about God or Jesus on my Facebook. I thought maybe that would have been some kind of a clue. If people want to talk about God and Jesus, they say God bless you or Jesus loves you or whatever on my Facebook, it's whatever. I'm not going to block or delete someone over, um, they want to say God loves you, Jesus loves you. I really don't care, but I'm not going to block someone or delete someone over their beliefs. I mean, that's just that's your position. Those are your beliefs, and you are free to believe whatever you want to believe. And it's not up to me to tell you or anyone on Facebook what they should and shouldn't believe. That is your right to do so. And I'm not persecuting you or anybody else on my social media, but I just don't follow along that same back trail of um, thinking. and that should be okay. That shouldn't affect how I treat people, because I can help people without the need for Jesus and without the need for God, and definitely without the need to vote. I can help people on my own. Um, but I hope what I'm saying makes sense. I'm not trying to upset you or anybody watching this, but this is just me. Um, I don't vote Republican or Democrat. I don't pray. I'm a pretty simple guy. But anyway, enough pissing people off. Um, but I think generally speaking, if anybody has any iota of common sense or any iota of human decency, they would say, "Well, you know what?" And just like Melinda here, she says, "I didn't know that, but I still like you, whether you're religious or not." Well, that's very mature of Melinda to say that. Um, because most people they would shut me out in an instant. Well, you don't have Jesus in your life? No, I don't. I was a believer at one time, and then about around the age of 26, I started to question things like this shit doesn't make any sense. And I actually had a back and forth argument with someone in an email about um, religious beliefs. And and this person was from Canada, and we just kept going round and round and round. And it's like circular arguments are not going to help you. They're not going to be beneficial for you because you have not demonstrated that your claims are true and accurate with evidence. So I can't believe something without proof, without hard, adequate bodies of evidence to show. And the Bible's not evidence. The Bible is a book of claims, and those claims have not been met um, with any kind of evidence that we can observe in the real world. Um, and whether you like it or not, that's just a fact. And yeah, and one way, and let me tell you, let me point this out too, because I'm on a fucking roll today. Let me point this out to you. We just had, Florida had just had one of the most devastating hurricanes in history. Okay. They went by forecasted models to determine the track of the storm, which they always do. They have what's called spaghetti plots. They have they have the regular radar. The computer is making guesses and hunches as to where the storm's going to go, that kind of thing. That's modern technology at work. That's science at work. You don't ever hear a meteorologist say things like, well, Jesus decided that it was going to be partly to mostly sunny today with a high of 75 degrees. Jesus decided it was going to rain. Jesus decided that Michigan was going to be in a severe drought today. They don't phrase things like that. They go by evidence and they say the computer model is estimating that we could get an inch and a half of rain, or we may be in a slight risk area for severe thunderstorms, or with winter being right around the corner, they might say, well, we're predicting a foot of snow. We're thinking that most areas in Michigan are going to pick up a foot of snow. They don't say, well, Jesus thinks that it's going to snow all night long. And Jesus is going to provide the snow and the strong winds and the bone chilling temperature. They never say that. They never say that. So now I have no viewers. I think I upset Melinda. I think I upset Melinda. But it's that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. You're not gonna, but I don't want to mock Oh, Melinda's still here. Okay, good. I don't wanna upset you or mock you, Melinda. I'm just stating a fact, and it's something that I would hope that people would understand. Take this into consideration, you know? Oh, it's in the Bible, and it's in the it's prophecy. Uh, I don't care if it's in the Bible. I don't care. How many times have predictions been made about, "Oh, this is the end of the world, and in 2012, it's the end of the world, and oh my god, there's gonna be a big storm coming, it's gonna wash the earth." No, it's not. No. Like the Noah's Ark story? Bullshit. Bullshit. You know how I know that? Because you wouldn't have an evolution of land creatures if there was a worldwide flood. That would have never happened. And even as far back as we can trace records in history and time, there has never been a worldwide flood. We know this because land creatures wouldn't have survived. They wouldn't have evolved. They would have drowned. That would have washed out an entire species in that case. Human beings wouldn't have been able to sustain life, although human beings can swim, but that doesn't mean that a worldwide flood occurred. And you would have, and the Noah's Ark story, like, you would have to build a ship a seaworthy boat or a ship, and you would have to fit 2 of every known living species on it. That to me seems really weird. Anybody who has it's not an insult, but anybody with common sense would know that that just doesn't happen. You have animals that would eat each other for their own survival to sustain their own life. That would never happen. Melinda, don't be afraid to question things. Don't be afraid to question things. If something and I know that you are I know you're a Christian, you're a big believer in Jesus, but you should never be afraid to question things. And I am dead serious. Don't be afraid to if something doesn't make sense to you, question it. Maybe I'm not the best person to question. Maybe you should ask a clergy member. Ask your preacher, your priest. Ask them because if something doesn't make sense, they're going to try to explain it to you or at least give an answer to what they think the answer is. All I'm saying is question what you're being told. I had to question a lot of things, and the worldwide flood situation, it couldn't have happened. It just couldn't have happened. There's no way. And I know there's going to be people out there objecting. Um, well, Jared, you don't know that. Well, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Because you wouldn't have had an evolution of land creatures over billions of years. That wouldn't have never happened. Um, in the history of time, that's never. See, I could make a book. I could make a book, and I could make up some really, weird shit. I could be the next L. Ron Hubbard, although I'm not a Scientologist. But I could be like L. Ron Hubbard, and I could make a book and make the most drastic claims about the most dumbest shit you could ever think and imagine, and I could convince you to believe that. That's what religion is. That's what religion does. What religion does is it says you have a hole in your heart that only Jesus can fill. Well, they haven't demonstrated their Jesus. They haven't demonstrated that Jesus exists, let alone the claims in the Bible. Those haven't been proven to be true. That is a book of claims. And the plurality of claims does not mean evidence. It just doesn't. It just means that it's a book of claims that have not met their burden of proof. When you go into a courtroom, and again, Melinda, something to think about. Our court systems are set up to determine guilt, not uh, innocence. All of our court systems are set up to determine guilt because we're not there to determine innocence. We put people on trial for crimes, and when the evidence points to that crime or that person committing that crime, whether it be by jury or um, evidence that you can't refute and the judge accepts it, that's how they make a determination. And then the prosecutor, um, goes and does his thing, but the judge ultimately sentences you based on evidence supporting the claim. It's just something to think about. It's no different with religion. If the Bible itself was tried in court, every page of that Bible would be considered hearsay in a court of law. And I find that to be funny because do they not make you put your hand on the Bible and raise your right hand and swear to tell the truth? To me, that's really fucking weird. It's really weird. I'm just laying truth bombs down today, don't mind me. Um, but Melinda, I'm not attacking you, but I'm attacking ideas. I'm attacking religion because religion is bullshit. And I see what it does to people who are they've got, their hearts are in the right place, but they wanna believe in batshit crazy ideas. They have espoused ideas that don't hold their weight in water. They don't hold weight in truth. And this is one way, Melinda, that we can, uh, destroy a rumor. Anytime someone accuses you of doing something, and not just Melinda, I keep saying Melinda because I know Melinda says she's still here watching this, but anytime someone makes a claim about you, you say, "You better present the evidence or sit down and shut the fuck up and don't say another fucking word." I don't know if you drop F-bombs. As you can tell, I do, and I enjoy it. Um, but that's how we destroy rumors. That's how rumors die, because if someone is claiming something, they have adopted a burden of proof, and they have to prove that what they're saying is true. They have a job of demonstrating that what they're saying is true. And if they can't, then you reject the claim. And any decent human being would also reject the claim. If someone came to me, Melinda, and said that told me something horrible about you, something that can be demonstrated, I would say I would need to see evidence for that. I'm not gonna just take your word for it. I don't care if I've known you for 20, 30, 40 years. You're coming at me and you're making a claim that Melinda has done something wrong. Now, what I need to see is evidence to determine that what you're saying is true. Another example, Melinda, and I'm on a roll today, and I hope you're taking all of this in. My cancer diagnosis. You think that was just a rumor? It wasn't a rumor. Um, Medical complexities, that's why we have the technology we have today, because medical complexities can be detected by the technology we have, by blood work, I mean, there's different ways we can see what's going on inside of a person's body. We can see this, and we have the technology to gather evidence, because when a medical professional see, like when I had cancer, and this it's not just me, this applies for all of us. When our medical professionals have evidence that something is going on inside of our bodies, they use that evidence to make determinations and diagnoses based on their findings, on their evidential findings. I had cancer, the evidence was there. There was a claim, they found evidence, they made a claim, they went and found evidence, The evidence revealed that this is in fact what Jared has. He has Wilms tumor. So now how do we treat this? Well, we're going to remove the kidney. We're going to do chemo. We're going to do radiation. We're going to take that route. And they did because it was evidence based. They weren't sitting in a conference room doing a coin toss saying, well, heads for cancer, tails for pneumonia. They weren't doing that. They actually examined me thoroughly, head to toe. They determined that I had cancer. That's evidence based. And how do they know that it's cancer? Because years of study and research and the evidence that they find, the information, they write down their observations. Their observations are passed on to scholars. The scholars print this material. This material is taught in colleges and universities, teaching medical students what to look for. And this information, by the way, comes from it's peer-reviewed information, which means that they all have to agree. There's got to be a consensus of agreement. We've all tested this, and these are the results that we have arrived at. When they agree on a consensus, then that information is published. It's peer-reviewed information published in textbooks. Those textbooks are then passed down to colleges and universities. Scholars print this stuff, taught to medical students. When the medical students get their degree in pediatrics or whatever field they're studying, they get their degrees and their credentials. Then they're able to help patients. Those of us who aren't in any way, a part of that community. We're just patients. There's a lot to know about a lot of things. Religion does nothing for anybody. It is something that makes you feel good. It gives you peace of mind. It doesn't offer anything other than don't worry about it. God will take care of it. Put it at God's feet. Well, we haven't even determined that your God exists. There's no evidence anywhere that would even align with the claims being made in the Bible that a God exists. Now, when I die, and if I stand before a long-haired hippie in sandals, and he asks me, "Why didn't you believe in me?" I'm gonna tell him, "You got some explaining to do." Because there are people down here who have suffered helplessly and needlessly. There are children who are kidnapped and abused, and they run away from home. There are starving people. There are people with cancer. There are people who are homeless. There are people who are they are in desperate need of help. Where is this all-loving, all-powerful, all-caring God of yours? Why doesn't he intervene? Why doesn't that happen? Oh, Jared, you just don't want to hear God. No, when I was a believer, I tried to hear God. It's wishful thinking. And wouldn't you be more comfortable knowing the truth instead of being fed a constant lie over and over and over again? Because it's actually important to know better than it is to feel better. Because once you know better, then you can feel better. I don't know what happens after a person dies. I don't know. I'm not convinced that my mom some part of my mom went to another dimension or a universe. I'm not convinced. She's dead. There's no where if you can survive your own death, then this is kind of disappointing because if you can survive your own death and live in another dimension, what does that say about this current life that you're living? Is this just a place to wipe your feet? I don't know. There's a lot to think about. And like I said, Melinda, don't be afraid to question. Don't be afraid to question anything. You should question everything. Everything. Um, religion is harmful. and I see no reason to hold on to it. And we're gonna end the show. Hi, Amy. I think they're home. They're in the driveway. I see the truck in the driveway, and it sounds like they're knocking on the door, the screen door. But anyway, I have talked for a straight hour, and I probably managed to piss off a few people within this past hour. Um, but anyway, I'll be back next week. I love y'all very much, and I'll be back on the 27th, a week from today, 3 o'clock. Now, after this ends, I don't know if Dad's gonna go uptown with me because I think they're back. I see the truck in the driveway. I just checked my security camera. But actually, I know they're in the driveway. I can see you, Amy. I can see you. But I'm gonna head out. I love y'all very much. You have an awesome week. Melinda, think about what I said. I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not making fun of you or anything, but there's just some things to think about. And it might improve your life. Don't remain trapped in religious doctrine because it's harmful. It really is. It's harmful. So much love to all of you. I'll see you next week, and take care of each other. Spread love and kindness everywhere. Don't let people dictate and control what you do to help enrich the life of someone else, whether it be politics or religion. Just be a person. Just be a good person. And I will be back next week. Yes, Melinda, we will talk. We'll talk later. Absolutely. I love you all very much, and I'll be back next week. My nose itches, and I say, "Oh, yes, yes." You gonna say goodbye too? She's barking at Dad and Amy. All right, guys, I'm out. Take care. See ya.